Yeah. What's up, guys? So we're back at Lewis Engines, and we got some cool things we're picking up today. Darren's been crazy busy. Shop's got more RBs than he knows what to do with. Hey, Darren.
Hey, how you going, man?
How are we?
Good, thanks.
I heard you have a completed part of an engine for me. Damn. The SONVIA head.
Yeah.
Look at that, eh?
Refaced and that, you know, like seats.
Yep.
Are all done. And refaced all the valves, faced the head, put new Supertech seals in.
But the most important thing is we think, well, Darren knows where he found the compression problem.
Yeah, one of those valves that in one of those videos we were talking about it here had a dent.
Yep.
I've cleaned it all up, but I reckon it was this one. Something went through there, and one of the valves was like it had a mark on the face, so I had to replace one of these valves. I've got plenty of second-hand Neo valves.
Yep.
And the seat was bad, so I had to go a bit deeper with that seat on there.
Yeah, right.
Nothing crazy, I mean. Like,
but the seating on the majority of them were pretty bad?
Yeah, bad. Yeah, the exhausts were really bad.
Yeah, right.
Like all uneven and yeah, like they had a lot of heat in them. But this particular head's had a good
thrashing.
Good hiding, hasn't it?
It's lived on the limiter for most of, well, its life with me anyway.
So I've ported all that. You can see in there.
Damn, look at
those
it.
ones are open. So
far out.
and that, in the video I sent you with the porting and I sort of explained where I'm grinding and.
I'll add that into the video right here, guys.
Yeah.
Because Darren's been busy and he sent me a few videos while he was doing it.
Yeah. So we roughed this inlet port out. So what we've got here is we've got to grind this down to a knife edge in the centre of the divider here. Straighten this wall up, straighten this floor up, make it like a nice uniform shape all the way in. So we do rough all those inlets out, and after we finish it with paper, the exhaust I've roughed it out already. Basically roughed that. So you should be able to see. So get rid of that bump. This over on one side, and we just follow that right through the port and knife edge the centre out. And that's the basic shape of roughing, and then after we'll polish it with the paper once we get a little bit more uniform shape on it. And always on these Neos, I like to deburr this hole around the spark plug hole there. Put a nice chamfer around there because they will crack from here. There's a nice sharp edge. I try to crack through, so I'll just put a radius on there. You lose about a half a thread of plug, but it's better to have a rounded edge rather than a sharp edge. And yeah, and then we'll finish that off. And the exhaust, same deal. Just thin that bridge out in the centre and smooth it all through.
Far out. So how many, like, that'd take you ages because you do it all by hand, yeah?
Yeah, do it by hand with a burr. So you burr it out and get your basic shape first with a single cut burr.
Yep.
And that takes on an RB head with this type of port job around about 5 hours to burr it out to shape. And then I finish them with a paper roll, a sanding roll, 40 grit sanding roll. And that's probably another, on this port job here, probably another 5 hours of sanding. So sort of 10 hours of porting. Sometimes I can get them done if I start early in the morning. I can get them done by about 7 o'clock at night, that style port job. Most of the times it'll go over 2-3 days, you know, I'll break it up because you're sort of leaning over and it pays a toll on the neck and back muscles and things.
Bloody oath.
So that's all set up. So we're running the same springs as you had, the factory springs.
Yep.
And I've set all those tappets here. So I've
were they pretty spot on, or?
No, I had to order them. Yeah. So what I've done is I run them a little bit tighter on the exhaust than the factory Neo do. They're very noisy.
Yep.
Because they're an aluminium bucket, they've got to run a fair bit of clearance here. But I tighten them up as much as I can. And when you hear the engines run, they're a lot quieter than the standard factory rattling noisy Neo. You know, like.
Because I remember when I did them, because I swapped these cams from another head into this one or something. I can't remember.
Yep.
I had to change the shims over.
Yeah.
Because the ones that were in the other head were way too loose, and it was like sounded like I had a
tractor.
Yeah.
But,
so
what I do is I use the factory shims because when the seats get cut and the valves get faced, it actually lowers the clearance. So you might end up with 5 or 6 thou clearance where you've got to have 16 or 18.
Yep.
So what I do then is I dry run so I put all the exhaust valves in, and then I put all the shims in and the cam with no valve springs. So then I push on the valve and I measure my distance in between the bucket and the cam.
Yep.
And say I've got 6 thou and I know I've got to have 16, I've got to take 10 off the tip of the valve. So I pull the valve out, take it over to the valve facing tipping wheel and machine a bit off. You sort of get to know how much you're taking off. Put it in, check it. Oh, I've got 10 now. A bit more. And then that's set. And that bucket stays with that valve.
Yep.
And then I do all the inlets the same. And then I fit all the springs up. And you put the whole thing together and they're done. It's an easy way rather than changing shims and ordering them from Nissans, because a lot of the shims for these are ex-Japan now. I've got a lot of old shims around, but it's so much quicker to just dry fit them without the springs and tip the valves down. And there's no problem with machining metal off the tip of the valve. You're only talking small amounts, like 10, 15 thou maximum.
Yep.
At its worst, you know. So you go on tighter.
Yep.
And then you machine the tips to get your clearance here. That's the best way to do it.
Hell yeah. So
some people sit there with shims and measuring, and you know, they'll get a head back from a machine shop all assembled with the springs on it, and then they'll take it home and they'll fit the cam in, and then they'll write down what shims they've got and then order other thicknesses. It's like some of those shims are $10, $15 each. By the time you've done all that and all that time, it's just, you can do it a lot quicker that way. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and you don't have these in stock, you make them to order?
Yeah, I just make them, like when someone's got a head, they want it done. Sort of discuss with the people, like a stage 1 port job, I call it, is about $450. It's a bit of a minor clean up. You know, spend about 5-6 hours, but you're limited in what you can do in that time. And then someone says, oh, I want to spend a bit more, so then I go to stage 2 port job, which is about $750. Then I spend about 13 hours, which this is what I call stage 2. And then a stage 3 is sort of a full port job. So a stage 3 I'll do when you remove the guides and put bronze ones in. Yep. So I'll remove the guides, then I'll port where the guide is and shape it in that area. Then I'll fit the guide, then I'll get the seats done, and then I'll finish the bowls off. And that just takes more time. So you're removing more metal and just more time involved. That's probably about a 23-24 hour job. Yep. Doing the stage 3 port job. So a lot of guys with a RB26 head, like a 32 or 33 GDR, they'll want a real nice port job like that. Yeah,
bloody oath.
Depends what you're using it for.
Oh, that's. I'm excited.
I just oil them up. You'll see this oil running out of here. So I just oil the valve heads up because they tend to go rusty. Yep. Must be the coolant that you use in the valve facing machine. They, like, if you didn't oil them, you just come back to it and all these are orange. Yeah, right. It drives me crazy, so I oil them up. So just so people don't take it home and it sits in the shed and then it turns orange.
Yeah. Well, this will be going straight on the engine.
Yeah. So that's all clean, ready to go. All you got to do is wipe that oil out of the chamber and off the valves. Yep. And then just go over the face with throttle body cleaner and a clean lint-free rag. Yep. And straight on the motor. So everything's clean. All the threads are blown out. All the head is clean. And tappets are adjusted. So if you take the cams out...
Yeah, I might have to get the head studs.
To get the studs in. If you take them out, just... if you keep all these buckets in the same order.
Oh yeah, yeah, always.
So even if you just sit it on the motor then take the cams out.
Yep.
And then your buckets are all in there. They won't fall out or anything.
Yeah, I'm super paranoid about that shit.
Yeah, but if you do have to take them out, keep them in order because they've got to stay on each one. They're set now.
I might be right though, because I've got the studs.
You can get them in.
So then I should be able to shimmy the nut through and...
Everything's oiled, like all these are oiled.
Yep, sweet.
Just have to put new seals in the ends here.
Yeah, I've got them.
Put a bit of Celastic under the cap on the ends.
Yes.
There's a nap groove at the corner of that cap there. You just put Celastic there. I don't know, they must be prone to leaking out of this gap.
Yep.
I did do one ages ago. I didn't put sealer and it leaked out of here. So it is a good idea to put just a dab of Celastic on there.
Yep.
Right on that corner, sort of in under that archway, there's a line on that face.
Yep.
You drop on each side. And don't put any sealer around the seal, just put them in dry. But just take the cap off.
Yep.
Put the seal on with a bit of oil and then Celastic on the cap and then put it down.
Yep.
Make sure the seal's straight when you put it in, like sort of just eyeball it and hold it straight. Make sure it's just in past that chamfer for the seal.
Easy.
Be laughing.
Bloody oath. And you got me an oil pump.
Yeah, that one's all done. That's got that billet gears in it.
Yep.
And
so that was my homemade
that's
cut-out job for the crank angle sensor.
Yeah, that'll work. Same thing.
I had to do that while I was in the car because I totally forgot about.
You've done well with that.
Yeah. The old tie grinder.
Yeah, that's all clean.
Yep.
Greased, so it'll prime up nice. And these are blue Loctited in.
Yep.
A stainless screw with a blue Loctite on them.
Heaps better than the standard crappy ones.
Yeah, just easy to undo if you got to, and that's all set, the pressure.
Yep.
And yeah, it's all clean, so you can just put that straight on. We'll put the seal in there and
yep.
Obviously put it straight on, yeah.
Awesome. It's exciting. So what else have you been doing in the shop? You got more RBs again.
I've got a few. I've just been lad that used to work for me in the Salisbury workshop. I'm helping him with an old 350 there. He's got a supercharger on it, like an old Roots 671 thing.
Yeah.
In a 57 Chev.
God.
I've just been helping him with that. He's got to do his heads now. This is a short motor I've got to build for Blake.
That's a diesel.
Yeah, a few there. They're waiting on parts.
Yep.
One of them's waiting on conrods. Another one's waiting on conrods here. I'm waiting on a whole batch of new cylinder heads to come, and then I can get rid of a couple of them. And I've got to finish the head on that 202 red motor for a guy in Victoria. It's going into FC or something. FC Holden.
Yep. Not an RB.
Yeah, that's a VL Commodore. That's a genuine A8 block turbo, factory turbo block.
Yep.
Just building it up with a top mount thing on it and top mount turbo.
Yep.
It's got a 6-boost manifold and all sorts of stuff for it.
And then you built this one and you...
Yeah, built this one. I thought I'll do it in... I've been building it for about a year. You know, buy a few parts and stash them away, and then I just put the short motor together the other day and I advertised it and it sold in a day. So it's going in a VL, so made that sump for it.
Yep.
With the baffles, you know, the same.
Yeah, same as what I got, yep.
So the VL Commodore, their sway bars further forward than the Skylines.
Ah, yep.
So you can go 250 with the box. So the Skyline box is back here. Yeah,
right.
So you can get a lot more oil in the VL. And that was just a Brock. That's exact replica internal engines now as for this car. The guy bought it from somewhere in Queensland, and the camshaft ate a lobe because the spring tension was too strong on it.
Yeah, right.
And so when we pulled it apart, we found out it didn't have any of the original bits in it. So someone helped themselves to the nice parts. The Brock heads, the special rods they ran, and there's a lot of things in there they pinched. So I've had to locate all that stuff. So these castings there, they're called a B casting, a Brock B casting head. Yep. So I managed to locate a set of bare castings. I had to pay $2,500 for a set of bare casting heads for the guy. So they got that stamp there, HDT.
Oh yeah.
All the business, yeah.
Wow.
That's what the fans want.
Bloody oath.
That's just basic 308 5 litre.
Yeah.
I put a crane cam in it and I ported the heads for him and sort of done a few upgrades while we were going, but all the original parts are there. in an original manifold. So
yep.
the Brock manifold runs the, oh, you see it here on the early Commodore. Commodore fans love this stuff. They got this special manifold, we call it a 955 because the part number ends in 955. So they do this so that the factory ones have a hole. So the HDT used to grind all this out and smooth it off here. That's a factory, genuine factory Brock manifold.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're worth a fortune now. You can't buy this stuff like you used to be able to get it around. You know, now it's very rare.
Oh yeah.
People restoring them, they're worth a fair bit of money now. Got a 2J, or sorry, 1J motor doing for bloke.
Oh yeah.
It's got some billet caps. My brother-in-law's line boring the block at the moment.
Yep.
And I'm just building the short motor. He's had the head done up by bullets, so I've got to put that on his motor. Now he's brought all his parts in to assemble the whole engine. That's another job.
Oh, 1J.
1J, yeah.
God, you got lots on the go.
Yeah, that's only the beginning of it. Until we go out there and have a look.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is exciting for me.
yeah, now you can put that on.
Oh, I can't wait. Then with all the COVID craziness, I don't know how I'm gonna tune it yet.
Oh yeah, how you gonna get?
I
Yeah,
can't get to Sydney.
you might have to just send it there with the truck and then
Yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah.
That's an option.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Pretty keen to drive again, so
it's probably going to change the tune from what
big
you
time.
had, you know.
Big time.
So
It's got compression now.
yeah, it's all valves are sealed now, whereas before you
It
probably would have been 20-25% down.
It was 60 psi across all 6.
Oh my god.
I think. Oh, sorry, that's a lie. The highest one was about 90.
Shit. Oh, yeah.
That's why we just kept up in the boost.
Yeah. Just keep blasting it in there.
It was on 30 pound by the end.
Poor old thing.
Yeah.
Oh, now you'd be able to run 18 now.
Yeah. With the same power.
Yeah.
And actually have low down torque. That was the key for this, wasn't it? To give it some sort of...
Well, the porting, usually what people, you know, because you don't do one particular modification and then you hear the answer for it, like the result, normally people change that much stuff that they go, oh, that goes really good, but you don't know what's done what advantage, you know. Like, I did have one guy once where I ported the head alone and he didn't do anything else to it, and it made a lot of difference. Like, under boost, it made more response and the power was better under boost. That's what he noticed. He said when it was on boost I didn't really know, you know, 'cause it's just screaming thing and it's just smoking the tyres. I didn't know at that point, he said, but under boost it was a lot better.
Well, if I can get more drivability before it gets... Well, actually, I don't think I had any drivability. It was either on or off.
Yeah, that's normally what happens with that size turbo, yeah.
Especially in battles, I never had the foot off. It was flat the whole time.
Yep.
So modulating when you're battling with a car, although I somehow made it look good, it was still
hard to...
Yeah, freaking hard. As soon as I let off or it went under boost, the battle's over.
Yeah.
They've won it. So now I've got...
Well, with that stage 2 porting, like I've... with the Neo head, because the port is identical to a RB26 head.
Yep.
This is a huge, better flowing port than the hydraulic RB25.
Oh, true.
Yeah, RB25 hydraulic's a smaller port. Where it comes into the valve bowl, it restricts right down about half the size of that. And then you've got this big ugly lump in the floor on them, which you can grind out and smooth off. But the valves are smaller. The bowl's a different shape in underneath the seat.
Yep.
That's an identical port to a GDR RB26 head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're a lot better to use these than the 25 hydraulic. But it's just the chamber size is smaller here.
Yep.
So you've got to be careful what you put these on. Like if you put that on an RB30 with a piston dome or something, you know, you have too much compression.
Yep.
For the turbocharged motor. You sort of want to keep around sort of about 9-1. It's sort of nice and easy.
Yep.
And then you just put boost in it. Basically, that's the easiest way to explain it.
And then with the dome pistons and these bloody...
Yeah.
you want to get into that or...
This quench bloody...
Yeah.
A lot of people grind it off. It's not good to grind it off because when the piston comes up, it squeezes the the mixture into the center.
Yep.
And fires it. A lot of people grind this pad off here, and
to make it like a perfect round.
yeah, I don't know what they're trying to achieve actually.
Yeah.
I think that some guys will do that to lower compression. There is some people that have a theory that if it's not there, it works better. I don't even know where they get taught this sort of thing. It's not the case, you know. It's common knowledge that you got to have the quench pads. If you look at any real high performance motor, like something that makes a lot of power, turbocharged or non, it'll even have little cloverleaf pieces here, so around the valves. So they actually have 4 quench pads here, like the real high horsepower European stuff and that. The chamber design is it's got to have that quench to burn properly. So if you take these quench pads off, when it comes up it doesn't compress, so it's trying to compress in a big void and it's just going wherever it wants to, and it's not a nice easy. So what you have to do is spark the thing real early to get it to burn.
Yep.
And then it's a heap of shit of a motor when you do that. As soon as you've got to spark it early, you're putting load on parts like Conroe bearings, pistons and things. As soon as you've got to spark it early to get it to feel lively in the car.
Yeah, right.
It's bad. So leave the pads on there. If you have to lower the compression, you normally got to do it with the piston shape of the piston head. That's the most logical way of lowering it. People put a thicker gasket to lower the compression, but what that does is it increases the gap here, and it can actually do opposite of making it squeeze in and burn. It'll actually try to fire in this area if it's got too big a gap. Like say you put a 3mm head gasket or something stupid on it. Like I've heard some stupid things. That's bad, where you don't want too big an area. But then again, if you're running a lot of boost, you need to open that quench area up a bit to get the volume of fuel you've got to compress to do it nicely. So it's a bit of a, you know, you've got to have your wits about you then when you start.
It's like a magic art.
Blasting boost into it.
Art to it all.
Yeah. So how I look at it is a motor like this that's basic, leave the quench pads there and run about a 40 thou or a 1.3 head gasket thickness. Yep. That always works nice. And other motors that I've done, you look at them when they come apart and you can tell, you go, well, everything's working nicely there, so that's a nice combo. And something with a lot of boost, I always leave the quench pads there as well. Yep. And you might want to run about a 1.5 or a 1.7 head gasket or something just to open it up a little bit. And that's about it really. And you don't really need to change anything from there. Like you can go up to 1,000 horsepower or 1,400 horsepower or something like that. And leave that there. But
hell yeah.
Yeah. But the Barra engine's the same. It's got the same pads there. You know, you leave them. You don't touch them.
So I don't know when I'm going to be driving next, but the major thing I need to sort out is getting it tuned. So yeah, obviously get it running, and then
send it over to the truck.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the most logical thing to do.
Yeah.
And then they got enough time to, because if I fly Chia over, it's usually only got a day to quickly do it, and then he flies back. Or yeah, I don't know. I'll see what's going on.
And then he can't come. He's got a quarantine for 2 weeks.
Oh, of course.
So he's not going to want to do that.
Yeah, no.
So you might have to just truck it over and let him play around with it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks heaps, mate.
No problem.
This is wicked. If you guys want to get a head made like this by Darren, just hit up his website or email.
Yeah, just email sales@lewisengines.com.au. Yeah.
I'll put it down below. But yeah, sales@lewisengines.com.au.
Yeah, .com.au.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And so RB builds, TD48 things, bloody.
I am trying to concentrate on cylinder heads more now because I can get them done quicker because it's a smaller thing to manipulate. Whereas with the whole engine build, you've got to, and especially now you're just waiting on stuff the whole time. Like you're waiting on cams, you're waiting on something for that, and then I've got a lot of customers now where they'll go and source their own parts, which takes a lot of time off my head because there's a huge amount of time chasing parts, ringing the supplier. Week later, you ring them, oh, we haven't sent it yet, or we're waiting on that to come out, and it's like constant Just
and with COVID, like
headache.
The resources around the world,
especially parts from the US, are real bad. ARP at the moment is like impossible.
Yeah, right.
I think ARP stuff's just starting to come through, but last month you couldn't even buy a set of main studs for an RB. I think a customer chased some down and he said Golby's had one set in stock or something, and he grabbed them real quick. But he was ringing all around Australia and they said, no, we're waiting, and everybody's waiting. And but yeah, ARP is the first thing. That's the problem. There's a lot of big suppliers in the US are so far behind on their orders, you know. A couple of guys in the US that are headquarters that I talk to regularly, they're just constantly waiting on new castings. They're like 7-8 months they're waiting, whereas before
insane,
a month they'd get them. Now they're waiting half a year, 3/4 a year for something.
Jesus.
But it's very difficult with that.
So yeah, Darren's keen to just get the heads done.
Yeah, I've been trying to concentrate on the heads because I can get them done quick and get them out of here. Whereas a motor build, it just takes me so long to do. You know, it's just, I don't know. You just like to spend time and do them properly.
Yep.
You're trying to do so many things, and with the website now, I've stopped the website so I can concentrate on motors and get some stuff done before Christmas. But that's looming in pretty quick.
But yeah, if you guys do want, like even sumps, just email you.
Yeah, just email, because the website, I've closed it down so people can't purchase parts because it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
It's too much time involved, and I've got to get some of these motors done, and I'll have to concentrate on those.
Because it is a one-man show.
Yeah, they can still buy sumps. Like if they want to, just email me through. I've always got sumps. I've got a couple of VL ones there done.
Yep.
And there's an RB one up there that's done.
Yep.
And the guy that welds them up for me, I reckon he's got another 3 or 4 RB ones there that he's welding up now, and he's making the GDR ones probably in a couple of weeks too. We've got about 4 of them we're doing.
Yep.
For the all-wheel drive. They're a bit, it's aluminium fabrication. They're a bit tricky. You've got to weld them on a block because they've got the diff, and you can't distort that.
Because it's a wally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that.
Too easy. Well, thanks, Darren.
No problem.
That's awesome.
No worries.
These guys will be excited too.
Yeah, you make some noise with that.
Oh yeah, I can't freaking wait. All right, we'll get these in the car and yeah. Thanks heaps again, mate.
No worries. Good luck. Thank you, sir.
Legend.